Hello everyone, my name is Emily Teo, and my paper is all about Shirley Jackson's controversial story that presents violence and social conformity. In the lottery, Jackson integrated historical and social cultural contexts in the different elements of this fictional short story. Elements such as the tone, setting, plot, theme, characterization, point of view, and irony. Jackson's clever choice of words in describing the tone of the story and the atmosphere added the irony in the end of the story. In addition, the story setting provides a hint of historical basis and background on ritualistic persecutions and violence. Jackson's sequence of events in the story culminated to its twisted finale, making the plot of the story an ingenious way of conveying the underlying themes of the story. Furthermore, Jackson's choice of characters forms the seemingly innocent yet violent nature of the group of people. Jackson's selection of the story point of view provides the readers the ability to be part of this imaginary tale. The ending ultimately defines Jackson's story, revealing irony as well as violence in relation to social conformity. Jackson opened the story with a tone and mood similar to that of the summer season. In the lottery, Jackson describes the setting as fresh and warm with rich green grass and blooming flowers. In addition, literary analysts have also stated theories on Jackson's choice of date, June 27. Patrick Shields has acknowledged that this date lies between England's midsummer celebration and America's Independence Day. England's celebration has pagan roots, while America's celebration has foundations of democracy and freedom. So, as a choice of date, June 27, it is a representation of the contrast between two ideas of each respective festivity. In addition, Shields describes the Jacksons choose the story setting to be like of that New England town where witch trials and persecutions are conducted according to the town's early history. Jackson's husband, Stanley Hyman, had taught in New England's local college and is thought to be of connection with the setting of the story. Literary critics' deeper analysis of the choice of tone and setting of the story gives a piece of the entire picture. With this observation in mind, Jackson did not only randomly create the place, date, and mood, but set them up with historical context. Jackson has carefully created the series of events with little suspicion of the forthcoming execution at the end. It is a simple plot that straightforwardly narrates the start of the tradition with some arguments within the people who participated in the ritual. Jackson's arrangement of the story has some distinct order, allowing the reader to follow the rules of the tradition and roles of the characters in the story. Jackson made the procedures of the story interesting because of the nature of selection of the person to be executed, with the rules that goes with the ritual, and the compliance of the story's group of people in agreement of the killing. Jackson has prompted the readers to confront the realities of modern day execution and rituals that have the similar nature to that of the story. The theme on violence and social conformity are connected to real life concepts with profound bases and foundations from the social, cultural, and religious beliefs of humans. Violence is described as an abuse of power. In the lottery, the people were led by the powerful members of the society who influenced and strengthened these ritualistic beliefs. The premise of irony is the focus of this story. The irony is that characters of the story, including Mrs. Hutchinson, are willing to participate in a merciless ritual leading to death, but vehemently opposed to the act if chosen to be the victim. In the lottery, Jackson utilized the third person point of view, wherein the narrator is not part of the story. Shields describes Jackson's purpose is to be able to give the readers a sense of involvement in the crowd and giving options to act as charged in a scene that challenges moral and ethical values. In the selection of characters, Jackson created most of the villagers to be faceless and nameless participants who act like robots. In the story, the onlookers smile but did not laugh, and they do not question the authority and tradition of the rituals. However, the main characters of the story are created by Jackson with a social, economic, and historical basis. Mr. Graves, Mr. Summers, and Mr. Martin are characters that Jackson has chosen to represent power and authority within the community. In an in depth analysis of these characters and taking consideration their social economic status, Jackson has employed the ideology of Karl Marx in his Marxist theory that the dominant social class contributes to the struggle of oppression and exploitation. In the story, Mr. Summers, who conducts the lottery, owns a large coal mining business, while Mr. Graves holds an influential position in the government as the postmaster, and Mr. Martin, who owns a grocery store, has an economic advantage from others. Shields states that their social economic positions made them influential and powerful organizers of the lottery and responsible storekeepers of the lottery's black box. As the protagonist of the story, Mrs. Tessie Hutchinson is well known for being the victim of the lottery, but Jackson's choice of name, Hutchinson, has a historical significance. According to Yarmorv, there is a well known Hutchinson by the name of Anne Hutchinson, who is forcefully exiled because of her religious beliefs. Jackson's approach of choosing the characters and their names of the story has historical and social economic background. Jackson's literary skills of integrating irony into historical and economic framework of the story are considered clever and witty, despite the outrage from its readers. Through the creative imagination of the setting, plot, themes, and characterization of the story, Jackson leaves the readers to contemplate to their conformity to ritualistic practices and reflect on existing customs and traditions, particularly those involving, involving violence and social injustice.